Hey guys, I'm Robert and I'd like to welcome you down to Apex here at the Nürburgring. I've got the GT2 and the M3 behind me. It is Friday. Hope you guys had a great week. Most importantly, forget that. Let's move on, kick off the weekend with a 3-question blitz. Today we have obviously 3 questions and a bonus. Question number 1. What's question number 1, Tom?
Question number 1 is...
I got my cheat sheet here. Adjusting for heavy passengers on the Nürburgring. Really good question, guys. I really do like that. I always forget my questions, to be honest with you. Sometimes I tape a cheat sheet up and we go from there. Question number 2 is, why am I selling the GT2 so I can buy a GT86? It's a really good question. And number 3, Robert, you cut 2 people off on the Polo video that you posted of you and Tom last Saturday. Wow, those are heavy allegations.
Bandit.
Speaking of heavy allegations, somebody, this is the bonus, somebody actually, when I made the comment that I'm not sure if Lamborghini really posted those times with the Performante and the SVJ that they said they did, I actually got told that those are very serious allegations and asked if I understand the gravity of my allegations. It's pretty intense, you know, but we'll see if the gravity comes around. But the bonus, this is kind of a fun one actually. I did my grape bike video recently, where I talked about all the tech and everything that I liked about it. And it was funny because I shot that video, and one day later after we shot the video, some Joe named TGETV posted a video about him getting a great bike. And somebody sent it to me. It was like, oh, Robert, you have these bikes. You should do a video or check this video out or something like that. And so I went on to the TGETV channel and I just jokingly wrote, I'm not going to buy a great bike just because some Joe did, right? And because of that, a couple people messaged me and actually said, Robert, what's up, man? You know, you have this bike, he has this bike, why are you giving him a hard time? And so I figured that could be the bonus today. Why did I say that? A while ago, I did my pista video about the alignment and how bad the car understeers and how horrendous the car actually feels as stock. And he actually commented and said, somebody referred him to it, and he said, why would I change my pista alignment just because some Joe thinks that it might be better? So, of course, I had a good laugh at it because things like that don't really bother me that much. And I just, went in and said, hey, if you ever come to the Nürburgring and you want to go around with some Joe, just hit me up and I'll take you on a lap and we can talk about our pistas. And kind of got a nice little exchange, and at the end of it we're good and everything. So I think he probably got my comment. Maybe you guys didn't, but that's why. Just a little bit of fun. But some Joe and Robert, maybe we'll go out for a lap sometime and have a little bit of fun at the Nürburgring when he can make it down after the quarantine. Adjusting for heavy passengers on the Nürburgring, question 1. Is it something that you actually notice, and this isn't only Nürburgring, but any track, do you actually notice a heavy passenger in your car? A very simple answer is absolutely. You definitely notice the passenger in your car. This car right here was actually out on track day just 2 days ago, and we were running some pretty fast laps. And when you start to get to the limit, Tim actually came to me and said, Robert, he goes, the car feels so much better with a passenger in it. When it's out without a passenger, I'm noticing I'm getting a little bit loose and things are not exactly how I want them to be. And we were talking and it came up, I said, well, remember we corner balance this car actually for a passenger because it is a taxi and we're running a passenger in the car 90% of the time. So we actually set the car up for a passenger. There was a big running joke, and it gets brought up sometimes now on a website called Nürburgring Now, or a Facebook group, I should say. And the joke was that a guy actually crashed his car at Metzgesfeld, and he had a passenger with him that was maybe a big guy, right? And I shit you not, the whole thing was posted up, screenshots and everything, where he was blaming his fat friend for causing the crash. He said, man, I don't know what happened. I went through that turn 6 times by myself with no problems, and then I had you as my passenger and I crashed. The car understeered into the wall. And of course the whole thing lit up with just laughter and everything because the guy was literally blaming his fat friend for being in the passenger seat. And so the whole blame James thing came out from that. And yes, it's something that you have to consider, and you need to be a good enough driver to understand that a heavy passenger, a light passenger, all of that does change the balance of your car. If you're going into a hard braking zone with a left-hander and you've got a heavy guy on the right side, you're going to be putting a lot more load on your front tire. It's going to change the balance of your car, and you definitely notice it. The M3 back here, we actually have the M3 set up knowing that we have passengers in the back. So when we go out with that car and it's just a driver, or just a driver and a passenger in the front seat, we definitely feel the back end not working the way that we want it to. So you definitely have to take considerations for your load. When you set up a car for 4 adults, you've got to make sure that the back doesn't compress too low in the carousel or in compressions and things like that. When they're out of there, that thing is stiff, it's really up there, and you do notice it. It completely changes the way the car drives, so you do have to change that. There's some cars that I'm just like, man, I really don't want to take someone that's 200 kilos in, because it's hard on the car and it's hard on your brakes and things like that. But you have to adapt your driving style based on every size passenger you have. It doesn't matter if it's a kid, you need to slow down, take your corners slow, make sure that they get back safe. If it's a heavy person, you need to make sure that you brake early, or that you roll off the throttle early, really more than brake early, but roll off the throttle, take some speed down so that you're not loading the suspension so hard, take it slower in the compressions, and worry about the places where you might have understeer due to the heavier weight. So that's a very good question in that regard, and something that's actually kind of fun for us to change around and work with, because it breaks the monotony. Next question, why am I selling the GT2 so that I can get another GT86? I'm not selling the GT2. I've been speaking about getting another GT86, but I don't know where the idea came up with that I was selling the GT2. This is a great car. This is a car that I probably won't sell or in any foreseeable future. It's a car that I want to keep in the fleet a long time. It really is an amazing car. It's something special. Going out and doing a 640.3 lap record, not me driving obviously, but the Manthey car with Lars Karen driving, it's a special car to have and a special car to hold on to. Yes, that lap record will be broken probably next year or in 2 years, who cares? But it's a special car for us. I think the question really meant, why would you consider getting another GT86 when you have cars like this, when you have cars like the Pista, the 675 LT? Why go backwards to something that is low powered and maybe not as much fun, maybe not as exciting? And the simple answer is, these cars are a lot of work to drive fast. There's an age-old question that goes around, fast car slow or slow car fast, what's more fun? Obviously fast car fast is a blast, but it's a lot of work. You are, to push this car to its potential, you are literally hustling around the track. You are working your butt off, and it really is, it's taxing. And you've seen videos where we're running the 675 and we're just chatting and talking, and they seem like a fast lap, but they're not. Anytime we're videoing and we're talking and stuff, we are still held back. It may be faster than some other people are driving. It may be faster than some of the other cars on track, but they're very capable cars. And we've done thousands of laps in those cars, so you do get used to it and you get a rhythm. But when you want to take it that last 10%, it's a lot of work. When you take the GT86 to the last 10%, it's just fun. Yeah, you have to be careful. It's a lot of work, but your braking zones are different. You're throwing it in the corner. You're at different speed. The G-forces on your body are different. The gravity of how fast you're entering into Schradenkreuz. In this, we've got speedometer readings, GPS readings of 290 kilometers an hour before the braking zone at Schradenkreuz. That's fast. In the GT86, you could damn near keep it flat the whole way through, and it's less stressful. And in the end, sometimes it makes it more fun. You've seen videos of Tom and I just laughing in the Polo while it's on 3 wheels and just screeching through. You're going to see a video very soon of me and Misha doing a lap with me driving his ring tractor, and we're just having a damn laugh. And we went into Arenberg, we went into Adenauer Forest, the left-hander, on 3 wheels, and we're just dying laughing, having a good time, because it's not as stressful as pushing this kind of car as close to its limit. So sometimes you want those slower cars to take you back just a step and have a little bit of fun with. Third question was more of an accusation. I cut off 2 people in the Polo GTI video with Tom. I don't think I cut anybody off. If you watch the video, we actually pass people. And when I'm on the track and I'm driving, I'm looking at where everybody is, and I'll drive slower or faster in order to anticipate where I think I can overtake them. And there's situations where maybe coming through Hatzenbach, right where the tire wall's to your left, I'll time it, I'll slow down so that I can pass them right as I go through. And yes, 100%, I will put my car within 50 centimeters of the other person's car if I can see what they're doing and I can see what their line is, and I can see that my trajectory will take me right past them and keep me on a line and let them stay on the line that they're on and let me get by them as fast as possible. If I'm traveling 15 kilometers an hour faster than you through a turn, and I come in front of you as I pass you, I'm not cutting you off because you don't have to brake for me. I'm accelerating faster than you, I'm going through the turn faster than you, and I can pass you like that. It's a very common thing to see on the Nürburgring, to have close maneuvers when you're passing, but you have to be under control when you do it. You have to see that the other person is holding a solid line, and everything has to be smooth and cared for. If you are cutting somebody off, you're truly cutting in front of them and them having to jam on the brakes, and that's not the case in that video. We watched it again after that, and nobody was truly being cut off. If you watch videos from the Nürburgring, you will see that I'm very conservative and I give people a lot of room in front of me, and I always will wait to pass until it's a safe point and wait to pass until I see visual eye contact that they've seen me, that they've made an indication to stay right, or that they've put their blinker on, whatever it is. But if somebody looks like they're not sure where they're going and they're not holding a solid line, I'll just patiently stay behind them. When I actually get next to them and pass them, yes, I will get back on my line as quick as I can so that I can have a nice flowing motion and get out of their way. And that's literally just part of track driving. This is something that's different for a lot of people in the United States, where there's no passing in turns in the United States in some track days, and there's only passes when the person actually waves you by with their hand out the window, which is just asinine. The people should learn how to drive on the track and should learn how to get out of the way of traffic, and you should be able to pass in turns, because a lot of times when I'm driving the Polo GTI, you saw that we passed a Nissan GTR. How would I pass that car in a straightaway in a 200 horsepower Polo? It's not going to happen. If I pass them in a turn, I get away from them, I go through a couple switchbacks, and we've separated ourselves, and it's done very cleanly. There are very few incidences on the Nürburgring that happen between two cars. Most incidences happen when one person gets carried away and drives themselves into the barrier. Obviously, there are situations with two cars, but I would say it's less than 5% of the crashes, maybe even lower, where two cars are involved because of contact through turns. So hope that gives a little bit of indication into Nürburgring driving, how it differs from the United States and maybe even the rest of the world to the Nürburgring here in Germany, what is allowed and what common practice is and what's expected. You do have to be very cautious. You have to be courteous. You never want to cut somebody off, but if you are the faster car and you know that your car is clear of them, get back on the line and make way and move along. So hope you guys enjoyed the 3-question blitz. Hope it wasn't too long this time with all the rambling. And most of all, have a great weekend. Give us ideas for the next 3-question blitz down below, and we'll see you next Friday for another episode.